Hello, and welcome back to episode 9 of my Keeping It Real in Space Engineers. Now that I've got this eat, drink, sleep mod working, I really need to worry about being able to get food and drink. My water is almost out. So I'm starting off by making my custom kitchen. I already had all the blocks in there, or all the pieces in there. Just got to build up the block. And then see what I'm going to need for making water and such. That being said, I do have a clang cola and a couple of singles chips that I picked up out of a unknown signal as soon as I logged in. So let's go ahead and have a clang cola. Well, I'm looking at what I need to make stuff here. So, water is just going to need an empty tin can and ice. I can't make the empty tin cans over here. So do I make those over here? I guess I could have still looked at it from over there, but whatever. Oh yeah, there you go. So let's go ahead and get 20 of those. That'll get me started on that. I've got plenty of ice in here, so let's just grab 1,000 ice. Oh, can't get 1,000 ice because I'm unrealistic and I have tiny inventory. But I can go ahead and put that in there. That should be enough for right now. I didn't grab the meat either because I was already full. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear as though this can be all tied together to me. One more tin can, come on. The custom kitchen, it has no connection points. So you just have to throw your stuff in here manually and then use it. So yeah, now I can get some water queued up in here. Should be able to get the 20. And some roast meat. There we go. I also want to go ahead and check my refinery. Alright, I have enough in the refinery to be able to make 2 of these and give some ammo to the Gatling gun on the Mercury to cover myself a little bit while I'm out doing the mining for the actual thing that's going to be going on this episode, which is getting started on the refinery. Speaking of, do I have a singular steel plate? I do. I don't have any interior plates. I do need one of those as well. So basic assembler, interior plate. Just give me one. That'll be fine. So I'm going to set this right on top of my battery there. Let's see, I want to use the industrial one because it looks nice. Oh, come on, game. Load it up for me. There we go. Okay, and it still is using the blue chrome I had set up for myself for the turret, which, go ahead and show that. In the darkness, it doesn't look all that great, but you know, that's one of the other things I'm going to try to get set up real quick is a bed so that I can sleep through this long night. I need this interior light out of the way so that I can build one conveyor tube. I'll just grab the tube itself and a welder. Yeah, that's the ship's welder, even though it's not showing it right. Actually, I don't need the conveyor, so I won't bother. Okay. Silly me not thinking things through. But with this setup, once I have enough iron, cobalt, and nickel, actually I'm pretty sure I've got enough cobalt on me already. Let's go to the assembler. That's 200. Nickel. I'm going to need more nickel. I'm going to need a lot more iron. And I may as well grab a bit more cobalt. So I'm going to go ahead and go off camera for all that, because I actually want to make some progress in this series. So I'm going to spend the next 2 hours mining and processing, and then I'll bring this back and we'll be able to build up that welder and have it build up the refinery. And that should work much better. I had also switched out my 3 large wind turbines for the 3 stackables. I actually did that yesterday when I was getting ready to record, before I realized that only one of them was working. The other 2 were doing nothing, and it was just draining the batteries on the Mercury to do everything, and that was just not going to be very effective or helpful. Let me go ahead and eat some singles chips. Get that food up. I have water in here, so let's get some of that. I'm just gonna keep food and water in my cockpit, honestly. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this up. I will bring it back a couple hours for me, just about right away for you. Actually, I just remembered, I'm wanting to sleep through the night so that I don't have to deal with that. So let's get a half bed over here next to the kitchen for right now. That'll be helpful. I can sleep through the night, and then I can pause for a couple of hours. There we go. And sleeping through the night. I'm just going to sleep until sunrise. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to pause and go get some work done. Alright, so I am bringing this back for a moment because I'm wanting to put a camera on the front of my Mercury here, because it is not very well set up for first-person flight. So this will at least give me a front view. I just wanted you guys to see me doing that. But yeah, I've got a big turret right in my front view. So now I've got my camera here. Pull that down to number 4, because I actually need to pull my antenna down to number 3 where I always have it. I just haven't been doing anything with that. And then there we go. Now I've got a camera so that I can fly that thing from closer to a first-person view. Also, while I've got this back over here, I'll go ahead and say that the Mercury can fly with an absolute full load. Landing can be difficult because it's very heavy and it has overall just enough thrust to actually keep it up. off of the ground. So make sure you're more or less lined up and try to go down slowly. For this reason, I'm actually going to put these top thrusters into a different group so I can turn those off when I'm full and trying to park. And any one of you who are following along and decided to build this ship as well, you'll also want to do that. Because, yeah, it will fly with the full load, but only barely. But that's all it needs to do, is just carry it back to here and land safely. Anyway, I've got a lot of iron that this very slow refinery is cutting down, so I'm going to pause up the video and watch an episode of an anime or something and then come back and see if I've got enough room to go and get the nickel I need. Okay, so have a meteor storm inbound, and I was getting ready to start welding up the welder. I have not gotten my nickel yet. Where is this blast coming in from? Over there. And the last two look like they're close, but not quite going to hit my base. And of course, I do have the Gatling turret now, which has a little bit of ammo. There we go, welder is complete. So, like I said, I haven't been able to go and get the nickel yet because it's still taking forever to cut down all of this iron. But let's see how close we are to being able to get everything for that. Shift middle mouse click to put that in there. Basic assembler. So actually I have all of the nickel, cobalt, silicon I need. Iron is the only problem, and I probably have enough of that in here. So I'm just going to let all of that get made while I continue watching my show. And when it's got all of that completed, I'll come back and we'll kick on this welder to have that build it for us, because, well, there's one really easy way to deal with being small inventory, or having a small inventory and such, is just not use my inventory. But yeah, I will bring this back when I've got these parts completed. I'm pretty sure I have enough iron. It's just waiting for it to get cut down. Alright, so like I said, this was a couple hours of work. Let me go ahead and eat and drink, because that's getting a bit low. Turn this on, because I should have everything I need to build that now. Give or take anything it might shove into the floor. Which, hopefully it doesn't shove anything in, but it looks like it shoved in 20 construction components. That's easy enough to fix. Custom kitchen, you're in my way. Get those in there. I don't know why it hasn't gotten to all of the steel plates. Oh, because it put some over here. I'm glad I went and got some extra iron. So let's come back in here. And just have it make a chunk of those. Man, my throat's all full of gunk. But there we go. Now it's going to have all of its parts. I can help it out here to get it done faster, but at least I didn't have to spend a half an hour moving all the parts over. It's a nifty little trick for these gigantic blocks. Go ahead and turn that off, and at this point actually I can get rid of it. It has done its job. But now there's the unfortunate side effect of I don't have connections to that refinery. I guess I'll leave these built up as they are for right now. Where did it put those components? Didn't put them there. Interesting. Anyway, I'm going to run some connections underneath. That's one of the main reasons I'm up off of the ground. This connector is actually going to be taken out of here. And honestly, I think all of these interior walls here are going to be switched out for proper steel. And this will just remain like an outdoor thing. I'll eventually build myself an apartment off of the base. But for the time being, the little platform is working. I can take out some of this ore for the big refinery to get working on. And I need drink as well. Let's see. Conveyors. I want both the conveyor junction and the conveyor pipes. And let's just see, for interior plates, what do I have? Not a whole lot. And I'm going to need a chunk of those, so I'm just going to build a bunch and run some basic stuff over for the refinery from this cargo here. And then I'll be able, once that's all fully built up, to take this basic refinery offline. But let's see here. I already cut my hole for that. Get to my curve. I should hopefully still be able to get to that. If not, I can always cut down the steel that's in the way. Move this over. I also already have a hole cut here. So let's get the curve put in so I know where I'm aiming at. I'm going to put the assembler next to that so it'll be able to connect there. This needs to go one more. There we go. So that will have me able to use this basic device once I have all of those built up. So let's just dump all of this and get started. First, I want these two conveyor junctions. I can get to them here, which is very, very useful. And there are a few things, small steel tubes, motors, that I still need built. I guess I didn't need to jump there. Silly me. Oh, got caught under a block. So I had most of one, it appears. Let's see here. That's all iron. I have plenty of iron. I will have more once I get this actually connected all the way over, because I already have a little bit in the refinery there. And I still have some in the basic refinery cutting down. Alright, there's all components for these 2 blocks. And then I've got however many tubes that was. I was not counting. Usually I'm counting things as I throw them down. Six, 7, and 8.
Meteor storm inbound.
Oh, that's nice of you. Another meteor storm. Let's hope that this one is a dud, just like the last one. Because while I was off camera, I had one warning come in. Oh my god, these are aiming straight at me. I am glad I put ammo in that, because it had already run out fighting wolves. So I had to make a bit more. That's something else I should make, is a rifle and some ammo for it. Because that does kill them at like 700 meters away. It's quite the run. Don't know what it is I'm seeing out there, but there's something on the ice. So I had a little bit of stuff, but not a whole lot. Get the rest in production here, and how long is that going to take? Custom kitchen just always shows up first, which is kind of annoying. There. Now it won't tell me that I don't have enough iron. Actually, I think I'm going to turn off the basic refinery, because I'm soon going to have the actual refinery up and running. And that's just going to be a million times better. Not really, but it's going to feel like it. And I think I've got most of the tubes on my build planner. And I think I'm going to take these down and replace them with the poles that come with them. So let's just go ahead and get those back on there. The lantern, I really like the looks of that model and whatnot, but I don't like the way the lighting works on it. So instead I'll be using a rotating light on the top of a pair of these. And I think that'll look really nice and give me sufficient power. But for right now, working on getting these up and running. And then my next project, I think, is going to be a mining ship. Whoa, that was a bit laggy there. I wonder why it's lagging like that. But as I was saying, I think my next project is going to be a mining vessel. The basic assembler should be able to facilitate getting that up and running. It is slow, but it does get the job done. It makes all the parts I need for a nice little atmospheric miner to be able to start mining, even if it's just into the cliffside over there, which might not be a bad idea. Like build myself a nice base hidden in the cliff. after I've quarried out all of the stone to be able to fuel doing all of my other things. I don't know, that would be something more for playing with the aesthetics of things, because overall, as long as I'm not getting hit with meteor storms, this is a pretty safe location. There is nothing coming after me on this ice other than wolves and those meteors. And the wolves can't get up on the base at this time. I probably am going to build a more permanent set of stairs up and down instead of my janky little disconnected ramp with a block reachable. That works for now, but as this base complex grows, it's just not going to work out that well. Okay, so I'm short the parts for one tube. One pipe was not on my build planner. So let's get those parts. Shouldn't take long. And unfortunately, I already have the parts for the wind turbines. I think what I'm gonna do is, my ship is empty of all of the ore and everything, right? Yes, but it has things in the ventral connector for some weird reason. So let's just move that out of here. There we go. So I'm going to pick up this ship and move it down to the power connector. That way I can put things in it that won't be collected by the build planner. Got the green line to be able to line that up. This time I remembered that. And there we go. Now that it's parked down here, I can use that to store some things, like the wind turbine parts. Because I don't want to pull those away while I'm making parts for the poles. Actually, I can get the parts for the poles first, would also help. So I'll put 3 of those in the build planner, because that's what I've got at this point in time. And though it is a chunk of iron, it's not that bad. So now that I know I'm going to have those, I do need power from the ship, because I'm taking those offline. And the battery is still dead on the base. All of the power is being put into the ship still. You'd think with me having sat here for a couple of hours, those batteries would have charged. They did not. So let's just grab these out of here real quick. I should have just enough space for one of them. Yep, just enough space for one wind turbine. Just throw that in there and grab the next. And because these are already the stackables, I can land on top of them if I don't completely miss. Which I just keep missing, so there. Uses a good bit less fuel if I'm just standing on top of the thing. But then again, it took me so much fuel to get on top of it, there's probably no saving there at all. Let's just pop in and out. Having hydrogen tanks on there is absolutely useful. I'm glad I had that thought. Oh, come on. I landed on it. Whatever. just cut this one down. I need to drop that off before I can come back and get all of these little bits. Let's not run into a pole. And there's some other changes I'm wanting to do over here as well. On how this is going to be coming out. Purely for aesthetic reasons.
Fuel low.
Okay, I saved 2%, which is just enough for this little leap. Haha. So I do want to leave these out here. But I'm wanting to see if... Yeah, that'll fit on there. I just think that that will wind up looking much nicer coming into there. And then of course I need to do that on both ends of this. So I'll get that one and that one. And I want it to be going that way and that way. And this one is already nicely angled into the bottom of the platform. This will probably also branch out in both directions. Though I think that might be the end of it, at least for the time being. I go to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think this is going to give me the right distance. Yeah. And those are the only 3 that I need up at this point in time, because it's the only 3 that I had. So let's drop all of that off, pick up what parts I can for the poles. 6. There. There, and way over here. Okay, so these things are big. Okay, stop jumping around the platform and land on the platform. But yeah, the 15-meter pole gives you the proper distance up and down for optimal, I do believe. I can easily check that real quick. Once I've got all of these up, I can throw down one of the wind turbines and see how it works. Pretty sure that's the case, though. And a little bit in there. These are overall going to look much nicer than just having some gridded blocks, though. And after I get some iron or stone mining going and getting through that refinery, I will be able to weld up all of these half blocks and such over here, so that the arms it's standing on look nicer as well. water is getting used up fairly quickly. And trying to look for the sun while I'm welding that. Yeah, you can tell it's been many hours because realistic day length. And the sun came up over there, right at the east. And it's almost noon. It's like 10 a.m. So now I need my stackable wind turbines on here. 3 of those. I already have them on the hotbar. And I know that I can carry one at a time, so I should have the parts to just build one. Go stand on top of it. If it will let me this time. There we go. Hey, first try. I will get better at flying eventually. Probably not. I'm sitting at almost 3,000 hours in the game right now. I think my manipulation of the jetpack is at peak functionality. So let's look at the stackable wind turbine. Optimal. Perfect. So now I've got the other 2 to get down. So let's just place both of those, and then go get the rest of the parts back out of here. Because I can sit on top of this one and go sit on top of the other one and get them both built up. And now my power production is looking a bit better. And if I'm going to be relying on these wind turbines, I want them to at least look as good as I can make them look. Well, that was easier. Just going from the top of one to the top of another. So there is one more conveyor that I need to make to be able to finish up the connection there. And I think for that, since it's going to be up top and visible, I'll use a pipe for that, a T-pipe to be more specific. Get those parts making. And more H2. So let's see, T is right there. And I want that T section aiming up because I'm going to put an industrial assembler right next to it. Almost walked all the way around, which would have been silly. Conveyor junction right there. What? I ran out of nickel right there at the end. That is hilarious. Let's see, what have I got in the cargo that I could pull apart for some nickel? Let's see. The detector components use a good bit, so that could work out. Let's just tear apart 4 of those. And that should give me more than enough. nickel for what I need now. Yep, there we go. Now we've got that finished. That refinery is kicked on. It should now be able to get everything. Yep. Oh, I know what it is. The basic refinery still has all of the ore, even though the basic refinery is off. And if I search ore, yeah. Yep, I was right. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of this and see if I can get another cargo container over here. A lot of parts in there. And it dropped a container because I forgot it had a little bit of ingots in it. No problem. But let's see here. Page 2, cargo. I know I don't have any interior plates to even get it started. So get a few of those made. I put it in the build planner, I didn't put it on the hotbar. Silly things to do. Alright, I will be able to get this because everything that needed nickel has already been made. I was running low on cargo space, so this actually works out perfectly. Because now I've doubled what I had. And I have my full refinery up. And this is going to allow me to play with some catwalks and stuff along this level of the base. Including getting over to and around on the industrial assembler. I have gotten stuck under my ship. So I think overall, this probably winds up being a short episode today compared to what I usually do, though I spent a lot longer recording it than I usually do at the same time. So if you enjoyed watching the video today, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you want to see what I'm getting up to, there's always the subscribe button. Until next time, have a good one.